Sodom and Gomorrah. Most people hold that Lot was in a position of authority because he was sitting at the city gate. This can be supported by the fact that when the men gathered around his house, he stepped out and closed the door behind him to talk to the crowd. He was probably talking to them as someone who had an authority. I personally hold to this. I feel he got this position because it was his uncle that came and saved the city, actually chased after the kings of the north and brought the people back and gave all the possessions back to the king. Although there's still room for the fact that God could have just prompted him to go to the city gate at that time, kind of like I feel that God prompted Rebekah to go to the well when the servant was looking for a bride for Isaac. Most people hold that the sin of Sodom was homosexuality. Sodomy actually means that. Personally, I feel it goes much deeper than that. I feel that what they were doing, they were actually totally departing from the natural order of things. That this sin was the same sin as was before the flood, when people were mixing with angels and changing the proper order of things, coming up with a different race of people. And so God had to destroy the whole world because the entire world had gone after mixing with angels. And so that in the area of Sodom and Gomorrah, they had done the same thing. They had mixed men with angels. The fact that when the two angels came, it seemed like Lot knew they were angels and brought them into his house quickly. But also the men of the city didn't see them as men, but saw them as angels and came to have sex with them. This is important because Jesus says that the same sin as we see before the flood and at Sodom would be the sin of the end of the age. And I think that's what this is and that we should be looking for it. It talks about how Lot's wife looked back and was turned into a pillar of salt. Most people hold that she just glanced back, looked back, and that God judged her. That could be, but another thought, one that I hold to, is that she looked back and started to move back. I believe that there was a burning sulfur rain that was coming down on the city and was moving towards Lot and his family as they were fleeing away, and that she stopped, she turned, and maybe even moved back, and that sulfur rain overtook her, making her turn into as what would be a pillar of salt. God's judgment is not mentioned in this passage. It's just the fact that she looked back and then this is what happened. Well, I trust your opinion may be different than that, and that's fine. But come back next time when we give you more insights on the story.